Hey, welcome to iTalk Movies. Today I'm going to be talking with a couple of the producers and writer from Range 15, a movie that has veterans, zombies, explosions, and maybe bikinis. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's iTalk Movies.
What's up, guys? I was going to say our music's a little quiet, but there we go. Welcome to iTalk Movies. Like I said, we're going to be talking to a few of the people involved with the film Range 15. So I'm just going to go down the line and say your name and how you're involved with the film. Oh, and also where people can find you on social media.
My name is JT, Jared Taylor. I was an actor, a grip. I mean, I was a lot of things in the movie.
All right.
One of the producers and creators. And if you want to find me on the Instagrams, it's at art15clothing.
I'm Nick Palmisciano. I'm one of the writers, was in the movie, and one of the producers. And you can find me at Ranger_up on Twitter or Instagram.
My name is Matt Best. I am a producer and actor in the film Range 15. And if you would like to find me, it's mbest11x on YouTube and Facebook.
All right, cool. Now, something a little different about this movie compared to any other action movie out there is it's actually made by people who know how to fight, and those are veterans. So why don't you talk about your personal military experience and how you feel you were able to bring that to the film and make it, realistic. Well, I was going to say realistic because they're zombies, just somewhere in there.
Well, I'll jump in to start.
Get it, Nick.
I was an infantry officer for 6 years. I am Ranger qualified. And
West Point officer.
What I brought to the table was I had to try to keep these guys in some form of organization and moving forward without getting us arrested or breaking any other laws.
We're like bottle rockets. We need rails.
It's a weird but accurate analogy.
And then what about you?
I was active duty for 12 years. I was a TAC-P in the Air Force, or a JTAC, Joint Terminal Attack Controller. And what's the next part?
What did you do?
How did it help you?
Yeah, how did that help you with the film?
Killing zombies is easier.
Oh, okay.
Because they're slow and not very smart.
Okay.
So yeah, that definitely did it.
I was in the Army for 4 years, served with the 2nd Ranger Battalion, and then I got out and did OGA contracting for about 6 years. And absolutely, like, zombies are...
Matt, OGA doesn't mean anything to people.
Anyone.
It's just a contractor, overseas contractor.
Okay.
For the CIA.
He worked for the CIA. He doesn't want to say CIA.
CIA.
But zombies are insanely easy to kill when you've had some experience in the old global war on terror. They move slow.
I had a sniper
they're not
rifle.
threatening. Yeah.
They're not a thinking machine.
Yeah, it was really easy.
All right. We'll get to a very serious question then. So, what weapon would you use in a zombie apocalypse if you could only have one?
Oh, me? I would have a bear trap on a chain.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would throw bear traps at people. I've always wanted to try that.
It'd be awesome, just hurling a bear trap.
Yeah, you're just hurling a bear trap. I think bear traps are terrifying.
Explain the reason. Okay. All right.
I'm scared of bear traps. Like, every time I'm in the woods, I never know. I mean,
All right.
Well,
Is today the day?
Talking
60
like slow Range 15 zombies, or are we talking like 28 days later zombies?
No. I think you're thinking of
Unknown.
zombie. No. There's another one.
Unknown factor.
Oh.
What's the
I Am Legend kind of thing?
the guy that's really hot that everybody loves, Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
What's his zombie movie called?
Oh, that
World
was
War Z.
zombie.
Yeah. Those ones are fast and scary.
Yeah,
They
you're
are.
right.
You couldn't have a bear trap in that.
No, the bear trap's not going to do anything.
62,000 people a year die from bear traps.
It's not an accurate statement.
I'm pretty sure that's not true.
No,
All right. Well, what
I
about
did
you guys?
research.
What zombie? If you could have one zombie weapon.
I would have a Palmetto State Defense 300 Blackout M4.
Very specific. Is it suppressed?
Yes, Matt.
No
it
one's
is
gonna know
suppressed.
what that. I'm gonna go with that, like a 1911, something old school and American, make it a little more challenging.
I want to
'Cause if I'm
change
rocking
mine.
If I'm rocking like an AR or something used in the military, it's too easy,
Okay.
So maybe something
You want
I have
something
to reload.
something challenging.
Challenging, yeah.
What about like a revolver with a speed loader?
That would be cool. Maybe a samurai sword.
Now, the
No.
problem with your suggestions on guns, though, bullets. What if you run out of bullets?
That's why I'm changing mine.
That's why I want
Okay.
a samurai sword would be legit if
you
maintain
went
a good edge.
if you went to any of our houses, you would know that there's
Yeah,
no
that's-
chance we're going to run out of bullets.
I'm changing mine to a bulldozer that can go 100 miles an hour.
That'd be pretty useful.
I like that.
I would want to be with you in the apocalypse. It's so much fun.
We can get through that.
Bear
We
trap
can get through
spinning
the
around
whole.
from the bulldozer.
So let's talk about the zombies in your film, and why don't you give us, whoever wants to jump in on a synopsis on the movie as well.
So the movie starts off with us all ending up in the drunk tank because Matt is an asshole.
That's very real too.
And
Like,
this is just our lives. And while we are passed out in prison, the zombie apocalypse kicks off. And so we were safe inside the prison.
Okay.
But now everyone's infected, and we're the last ones that can kind of save the planet.
But it's that kind of whole vibe of people in the military, how you romanticize about a zombie apocalypse. When we find out, we're not like, oh man, oh god. We're like, yeah, let's do this. You know, get to apply our skills to.
I'm hungry through the whole course of the film.
But
Is this based on your real life?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm hungry now.
so that's a real thing, though, in the military. I mean, the zombie apocalypse is pretty much the dream scenario.
I was going to ask, is that a common discussion among people in the military?
Yes. Yeah, especially
the
watching
time.
like The Walking Dead, and they never learn anything.
Right.
Oh,
They never.
yes.
It's like, come on, like,
Like leaving a gate open, like, you know, turning your
Or even-
back to a horde
Yeah.
of zombies. You're just
Yep.
like, come on, elementary, you know?
you know, or even like they've been around for like 2 years now, and they still trust everyone. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh look, it's another human.
Or the people who walk off to go to the bathroom, it's like,
Right.
no,
Yeah.
you're staying within the perimeter.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
are
that's
you
what we almost
leaving?
want to do with a horror movie. It's because it's like, hey, I'm gonna go get naked and take a shower.
Yeah.
But you know it's haunted. You're like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. We got to do that Halloween thing that we
Yeah.
have planned. It's really funny. It's where essentially every cliche happens in the movie, and then it's stopped with use of force and guns.
And then something different, we kind of said it, but reiterating with this film, you actually have real veterans in the film. And why don't you talk a little bit about the importance of having that?
It's the most decorated film ever.
Okay.
So there are 2 Medal of Honors, a Navy Cross, 3 Silver Stars, over 20 Bronze Stars, over 30 Purple Hearts. Like, there's no other movie that's even close. So all the things that usually annoy veterans about movies, like the fact that nobody handles weapons properly, uniforms are always terrible, all that stuff is gone. So everything is, even though it's a comedy, everything is really legit.
We didn't even let wardrobe control the uniforms. Like the uniforms we built ourselves and like hand carried them to sets, to the set, just to make sure that they were good.
Now, do you feel maybe that films, they're supposed to have like a consultant in person? Do you think they're just not doing a good enough job, or just Hollywood?
I think a lot of Hollywood
Fudges
and
it.
they use old school like tech advisors for the military, and it's bizarre because even on huge budget films they still mess up stuff. But then ultimately, I think it comes down to the director. Like, I think this looks better, and the tech advisor's like, no, like what was it in American Sniper? The unit that I was in, they put an airborne tab, and we don't wear that. And it was obviously the director probably like, I want that in there because it looks cooler to me. And civilians wear us. We're like, that's not how we wear a uniform. But
Yeah.
Either that too, or also, you know, it just comes down to the tech advisor may be working on a scene or something about, you know, this stuff where the wardrobe person just didn't know. And especially in Hollywood, like, it's hard to get some of this stuff because the closest base is Camp Pendleton. So even if that tech advisor finds a mistake here, you got to drive 2 hours just to get a new uniform piece or something like that. So I think it definitely does also come down to time and if that was an important part of them for them.
Oh.
It
And then
was for us.
we do have a photo of the Medal of Honor actors, but real people too, because
Absolutely.
they
Yeah.
acted it. And then if you want to talk about how did you reach out to these different people to get them involved with the project?
So on the military side, we're pretty much friends with everybody. Our 2 companies, Ranger Up and Article 15, are the 2 largest military lifestyle brands. So we do a lot of charity work. We do a lot of events for the troops, and so all these guys know us or know about us. So getting them to come on board was actually, fairly easy. They were excited to do it. And even Marcus Luttrell, who's in the movie, who you would think would have been a hard ask. Our friend David Rutherford.
Marcus is the lone survivor. That's probably the best way people know him.
Yeah, good. Thank you, Matt.
I'm actually impressed.
It says it on the map.
I was gonna say it's the end of one of the videos too. Of maybe
Yeah.
now we're the lone survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he, if you watch the trailer, Marcus Luttrell dies in the trailer, and then we make fun of the fact that he died when, in fact, he has a whole book and movie, The Lone Survivor, about the most horrific couple of days of his life.
Yeah.
The fact that we make fun of it like that is kind of an indication of what this movie's like. Is the really dark veteran sense of humor.
We even saw a reporter at Sundance made a comment like, "Is that Lone Survivor joke really funny?" And Marcus is sitting right there like, "Yeah." It's me.
Yeah.
And then let's take a look at this we have a fun action kind of group shot of the company walking. You want to talk about what we're looking at here?
I'm hitting on Heather right now.
Okay.
I'm trying to, and she's telling me, "Get your body away from my body."
We're just a group of dudes moseying through the zombie apocalypse looking for some heads to blow off.
With a sex doll.
So at this point, we just finally found weapons.
Okay.
So before this, it was all hand-to-hand with zombies.
Yeah.
We found weapons. We had an amazing montage while we geared up.
Arguably the greatest montage in film history.
People have said the best montage of all time.
I will say, show me a better montage.
I can't think of
four
it.
people got pregnant during the first screening, just based off the montage.
There's a bald eagle in our montage.
Yeah.
I don't even think any other montage has that.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on in the montage, and then this is the scene right after that.
All right. We're getting ready to go out.
Getting ready to go out.
Now it's coming out, what's release date?
June 15th.
And then you've already had a screening before. You want to talk about that?
So we've had 3 secret screenings with the troops, and those went incredibly well. And then we had our first formal screening was at the GI Film Festival, and we won Best in Fest there.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. We did not expect it, but it is fun to tell people that we have an award-winning movie because it's a zombie comedy. A zomedy, if you will.
Zombie.
Zomedy? Nice.
And then we just had our LA premiere, which was mostly Hollywood people, and so we were a little nervous about that, but that also went really well. So right now we're feeling pretty good.
Good.
We'll pull up we got a poster with the release date. Everybody looking pretty BAMF there. I was gonna say, please, you guys know what BAMF means, right?
I've never
It's
heard
a
that term.
bad
Thank you.
blurt, blurt, blurt.
Oh, you can say ass.
Ass, okay.
Badass mother.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, and then we'll take a look at the.
Have you heard of Badamph? Instead of mother, it's dad. That's really cool.
That one doesn't flow as well. And then we got your nice action poster going on here. Yeah, it definitely screams like a fun action movie. So what have the people who've seen it who aren't in the military thought of it yet? Because I mean, I guess other people came with them or something.
Yeah.
So.
You want to take any of these?
Yeah, I mean, the film is obviously directed and orientated towards kind of veteran military-based humor, but the way that we do it throughout the film, like any joke you might not understand as a civilian, it's explained. And it's almost kind of educational because a lot of people I've seen like, huh, does that really happen? And they'll look at a veteran and be like, yeah, and they're like, that's hilarious. So it's kind of cool. I mean, we didn't restrict the comedy to
We had a woman that was a civilian write a really cool review of it. She saw it at the GI Film Festival and said, and kind of geared it for, here is what I thought of this movie coming as a civilian. And so that was really nice.
Absolutely.
To kind of see their views.
Yeah. And then, on one of your, I think it's your Indiegogo video, or some of the behind the scenes, you're talking about how you wanted to put humor in there because the Hollywood films don't show the humor that military people have.
Yeah, every Hollywood film does one of two things. Either they show a veteran that's completely broken, like war has destroyed him, he's an alcoholic, he wants to kill himself, but something keeps him holding on, or perfect white knight, slow motion, dramatic salutes.
Sliding on his knees while firing the weapon. I am America.
I do this for America. And the reality is that we're normal people. You know, cross section of society, different worldviews, different goals, different hobbies, and
that's what we mainly wanted to portray is like the culture of veterans in the military. I mean, this film is super edgy, but that comedy comes from deployments when you're stuck on a fob with 30 guys for a year, and you just develop this weird sense of humor to entertain yourself and kind of get you detached from the crazy, bad environment that you're in.
Watching all seasons of the OC 12 times.
Yeah, Marissa, that was my girl, dude.
Oh, Ryan Atwood. Ryan Atwood's my boy.
I think that would be a surprise for some people to find that that's
You have no idea.
how you pass the time. What are some other fun shows you
16
watch?
dudes huddled around a tiny DVD player watching the OC.
I had a little DVD player like this, and I found a copy of The Notebook in a Hilux. So I pulled it out, and I was like, I had nothing to do. I'll just watch it.
Yeah.
Everybody that came in was like, huh. And you're like, I can't probably say it on here, but calling me stupid for watching it, and then slowly
they called them stupid.
Slowly, by the end of the film, there was like 25 people like, oh, no, like crying at the end of the Notebook.
It's not fair.
I can't wait to go home and buy,
Their love was so
buy
strong
more
to
copies of
die.
this movie.
Wow. And then actually, speaking of the humor, and one of the things in the behind the scenes is you get to see how some of the vets were able to use what people would call disabilities to an advantage for film, because then it's like, well, you need a leg missing?
Yeah.
Got that for you right here.
I didn't know, but extras that are missing limbs are in high demand and actually get paid very, very well.
Supposedly, yeah.
But we have awesome
we
friends
need
and
to
they
start
donated
signing
their
up.
time.
We need to
so-
start signing up all our veteran friends for those.
Yeah, and there's a scene that I think that is awesome that is we've just killed a bunch of zombies, and there's one zombie that's played by our friend Joey Jones, and he's lost both legs. And at the end of this scene, we have this slow motion sequence where Rocco pushes him over.
Shoulder checks.
So you see this guy walking on two prosthetics that slow motion just eats it. And that was his idea. He was like, let's close this scene out with you just knocking me over. Like, I don't, like,
And
I
that's a
can't.
huge hit with the joke, too. Like,
And
'cause
everyone
everybody
laughs.
watched it. Everybody
Yeah.
laughed.
And it's
at
funny.
that.
It's people laugh, but they look at each other. Like, they're like, ah, and then they realize, like,
cool
oh,
to
is it okay that I'm
that all
laughing
right?
right now?
But it's kind of one of those, like, if you're in whatever group that's being made fun of, it's kind of okay, because you're like, no, really, that's how we really feel. Because then
Yeah.
it's not necessarily an outsider laughing at you.
It's like it's
laughing
part
together.
of the community. A lot of people look at combat wounded veterans with a pity party, like, oh, it must be so bad. It's like, no, dude, these people are going out there and doing amazing things, a lot more stuff than people with all their limbs. So it's like to put them in that victim mentality
last
is the
thing they
complete
want.
opposite thing they want, because they're brothers and sisters. It's the same as all of us.
Yeah, there was a girl I liked on the clip. She has both her arms gone
Yep.
from the elbow
Mary
down,
Dag.
and they
Mary,
put
that's a girl.
blades on it.
Yeah.
Oh, she looks so cool like
Yeah,
that.
she was awesome. She did a great
She
job.
kills
in the
someone
movie.
with those.
Yeah.
Well, a zombie.
Yeah.
Not someone.
Yeah,
Zombie.
she
We
doesn't.
should hope so.
She doesn't murder people in the movie like
Like we do.
Like
Like
all
we
of
do.
us.
Well, I like that she kind of, and if you want to expand on it, she comments on like, yeah, she makes a joke herself of like drop something and goes, oh, I'm all thumbs, but
Yeah.
And so yeah, you're making the joke, but it's okay because you're part of that
Just
community.
making light of a situation. That's all it is, and it's not. People shouldn't be sensitive enough to be like, you can't say that. Well, the girl that has to live every day without her arms is doing it, and let her be her. It's her life.
And she does it to help other people be comfortable.
Exactly.
Because she's comfortable with herself. She doesn't need anybody, anything from
I've seen her
anybody.
cook a full breakfast. Like eggs, everything,
She will
sausage.
beat every
like-
single person in this room in Call of Duty with her toes. It is
Yeah.
insane how good she is.
Yes.
Naturally, it always goes back to food with JT.
Yeah.
Now you talked about watching movies aren't necessarily what people would assume you'd watch. Do you guys all play military video games, or is that okay?
No,
So you're
I played Diablo 3 actually.
okay.
I played a little bit of Doom recently.
I don't play video games because I get obsessed and I waste my life away. I have to.
What were you?
Spend-
You
and
were like
spend money.
you're in the top chart.
Spend
So
money.
yeah, so you know that phone game, Game of War or whatever.
Yeah, I
So
think
I
so. That
was
one.
like, I hadn't played games in ages, and I was like, I can probably play one now. So I grabbed that thing, and it's on the Super Bowl and stuff. At one point, I was number 4 in the world. And then
Obsessed.
finally decided that my life was getting worse because I was having real life meetings with people to work on our guild. And
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like live?
Yeah,
real-
like live, like
Like
we're
Skype meetings?
Skyping with
Oh
people from
my
like
Lord.
Ecuador and stuff, And
Listen, bro, you got to up your guild.
yeah. So I sold my account for $7,000.
You sold it.
Yeah, $7,000.
Do you
pretty
find
cool.
So I don't-
Success story right
So
there.
I don't play games.
do you find as much discrepancies in military video games versus military movies?
There's no correlation between real life and a video game. It's just
Fair enough.
You really can't die in a video game.
well, you respawn. It's
Or you
pretty
get
cool.
shot and you're like, oh, I just need to eat a cheeseburger. I'll be fine.
I want to do the cheeseburger part.
Now, if you guys could ask Hollywood to get one thing right with military movies, what would it be and why?
Just the culture of what we are, and I talked about this at the GI Film Festival. We had some short documentaries that we put in there as well as Range 15, and like the one that you submitted was super positive and it was a good success story, but everything else that was out there is just super negative and depicts us as these just like broken losers that can't contribute to society, and the reality of it is that's not the case at all. Like, and he has some data on that, but like veteran entrepreneurs are some of the most successful people in America.
So it's veteran entrepreneurs are more successful than any other subgroup in America, period.
Wow.
They start the most businesses per capita. They have the highest percentage of success. So all of the the stereotypes about vets not being able to take care of themselves are patently false, but they're perpetuated still because of like the
Pop
kind
culture.
of the Vietnam era stuff has just really clung, and people like to assign a status, like a victim status, to veterans, and it's really not the case.
So I would say if you go on a military base, there's never formations of people running. If you watch any military movie, anytime they're on a base,
all formations,
it's like
that's true.
all it is behind them. There's a formation of people running and yelling. It doesn't happen on a military base unless you're at
It's like
Sam
a battalion
Hill.
run or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. It's just like no one's running on the base, in formation and in uniform.
Maybe
Squad
maybe
PT.
at like 5:30 in the morning.
Stop it! Stop it!
I know it's like
Hollywood.
2 p.m. and everybody's running in boots and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, it's just like that's the.
I'm in the military.
We have this military scene. We're gonna need 3 groups of people running behind everything that's going on. No more.
No more.
Done. Just go visit Luke Air Force Base.
Yeah.
They all have golf carts.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
the Air
Nerds.
Force. That's the Air Force.
And now, you guys have kind of talked about what weapon you'd want for zombie apocalypse, but do you feel with your different branches of military experience, do you feel you're ready for are your combat skills up to par for the zombie apocalypse?
But see, that's the benefit of the movie is we all apply specific skill sets that we learned in the military.
Nice.
I was more like a direct action guy. We have Jared, who's a JTAC, and we got the officer who's making sure I don't hurt my ankle or something. he's leading
made
the way.
sure-
He's telling
I
me
he
was
made
what to do.
sure-
liaising a lot.
He made sure we were all caught up in our SARC brief, and we did all of our
Sensitivity training.
CBTs. He made sure
PowerPoints.
before we could go and fight the zombies, we had to make sure our medical was taken care of.
But it is true. So, like in the film, you'll see Jared apply his Air Force JTAC skills.
Calling
which
an
is-
airstrike.
Yep.
In,
So,
in dramatic effect.
In a dramatic Nicolas Cage effect.
Nice.
it's a good reference.
I love
What's
the
your-
cage.
Oh, there you go. What is your favorite military movie that you actually enjoy?
In the Army Now with Paul Shore.
It's a good one.
It's great. They're water purifiers.
I like Black Hawk Down.
Same paradigm for me.
Cool. And the least favorite? What's the one that got it the most?
The
Hurt Locker. The Hurt Locker. The Hurt
The
Locker.
worst military
Like,
movie.
I honestly think like whoever wrote the Hurt Locker and did all that, like we need to meet because you're getting punched in the stomach.
That's just a terrible movie, and naturally, that's the one that wins the
Yeah,
Academy Award.
and
Yeah.
that's bad. It's so bad.
The
It's like-
idea of an EOD tech just going on a one-man solo mission through Iraq trying to find. I mean, it's
It's absurd.
it's just ridiculous.
terrible movie.
Yes, it's the worst.
yeah.
I would watch Pee Wee Herman over
On
the
stage?
Hurt,
On
over
stage?
the Hurt Locker.
Yeah, I would rather watch Ghostbusters 2
Oh man,
or whatever it's called.
That's rough.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well,
I would watch anything with RuPaul. Like, I'd rather have Gilbert Gottfried yell at me in an elevator for 40 hours than watch The Hurt Locker.
now, speaking of Hollywood, but you guys did get a couple of different actors to make cameos in
We
your
did.
movie.
We did.
You want to talk about those people?
William Shatner was the first guy that we got. I really, really wanted him to be in the movie.
How'd you reach out to him?
I wrote him a personal letter. And
It was delivered by a dove.
I was expecting some like delivery method of.
Well,
The
it was
Nick
an
Palmisciano hand
arrow.
stamp, a
An
wax
arrow
stamp.
was shot into
Wax
it,
stamp.
and it was on his door. He has a large wooden door. I mean, we need to
But
do
seriously, how'd you?
I wrote him a personal letter. He actually donates a lot of his time to veterans. He had recently done a charity ride across the country with the American Legion, and he didn't put a lot of personal press behind that. It was just something he wanted to do. I thought that was really cool, and I was a big fan of him from Boston Legal. So I wrote him a letter that just basically said, "We'd love to have you in this movie," and he said yes.
That's awesome.
And once we got him, it was much easier.
Well,
to get
truth
other
be
people.
told, too, the original part that we offered him, he wanted a larger one, so
Yeah.
we switched him.
That's true.
To a
is true.
larger part.
So more time commitment. That's great.
I mean that surprised us, and we were like,
Yeah.
absolutely, we're going to do whatever you want, sir.
And then you had Danny Trejo,
Yeah.
Sean Astin, Keith David, Dale Dye. Is it Dye?
Dale
Yeah.
Dye. Yep.
Yeah.
Martin Kleba. We had
Ron Jeremy.
Ron Jeremy.
Just a couple people.
Brendan Schaub and Brian Callen.
Yes.
Those were my two
And
favorites.
then for the other actors, did you similarly just reach out to them and tell them about the project? or?
we reached out to most of the others. Sean Astin actually reached out to us.
Oh, that's cool.
He was, believe it or not, he was about to do an Ironman in Hawaii. And he was like, look, I've got the Ironman on this day, but if you can accommodate one of these 2 days, I will fly directly from Hawaii
that's right.
to the set and knock this out. And so he was like
Wow.
he was kind of still limping from
he was
doing
in
the
flip-flops.
Ironman. Like his feet were destroyed.
Yeah.
And so he's, he's in this outfit, but he's wearing flip-flops for almost the entire thing.
But it was so much fun. I mean, he gave us one of the most memorable moments I think I'll have forever, because he recited the Rudy speech when all of us were in a helicopter in 110 degrees. Everyone's sweating, and then he just started the Rudy speech.
Yeah, I think someone in there was like, man, let's bring the motivation up a little bit, and he just turns around
Recite
and
it.
delivers the Rudy speech. We're like,
Oh my God, what do I do with my hands?
So you guys you fanned out a little bit,
Yeah.
a little bit, yeah.
little fanboys about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a fan.
Not every day you get that from.
I watch Rudy like once a month just to get a good cry in, you know, just a healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy cry.
Yeah.
Sweat out some of those cheeseburgers. You
I
eat.
didn't know Jared had human emotion until like 3 months ago.
I
How'd you
still
find out?
don't.
And where'd you guys film?
We filmed here.
Los Angeles.
Here
All
and
right.
a little bit of Vegas.
DC stages, Las Vegas, Pomona, the Three Aces gas station.
And how many days did you shoot in?
We shot.
It's
in
pretty quick.
14 days.
Oof.
And then we had like a couple of scenes we shot in 1 day in Vegas.
They
Wow.
took me to a public park,
And threw pie on you.
made me eat pies.
Yeah,
Sounds rough.
we did.
And how long was the script? How long was the script that you did in 14 days?
94 pages.
So you had long days.
Smoking.
Yep.
No, it was like an hour of work a day.
Yeah, we're just
Hour
kinda,
work a day? All right.
Kind of
A lot of trailer time.
Yeah.
Sitting in the trailer.
Sitting in the
So
tray.
that was a big difference with this this movie versus I think probably any other movie ever is that we all are used to pitching in, you know, and so like in the military, like nobody gets to just sit around and not work. So if we weren't acting, we were helping the crew move stuff, get supplies, do whatever, and that was everybody on set.
What Nick's trying to tell you is he's awesome. In case you're missing the point.
I was saying we, so it was more of a
He didn't say we. He didn't say I.
Did say we.
It was nosotros.
I know.
Like
yo.
the
I
first
think I
week,
once said-
after the 5th day of shooting, you know, we get done at 10, 11 at night. Me and Evan had to drive the
Yeah.
trucks to Four Aces gas station, which was almost 2 hours away, and driving a deuce and a half in
It's a
downtown
huge
LA.
military truck. It's
Like,
brutal.
It was miserable, but
But you did it because you're a hero.
we did it.
That was clutch. It was very clutch.
Was that a pun?
We got the
Because it actually has a.
we got the vehicles there.
I'm sorry.
It was cool. There's a lot of instances like that on set. At one point, the Humvee broke down, and because it was donated by Battlefield Vegas for us, and then we had him. We reached out to some friends in a Marine unit, which I won't label, drove up from Pendleton with the cable.
Army recruiters.
Recruiters, okay.
Army recruiters.
Slave cables that we needed to start the Humvee, and they repaired the Humvee, or we would have burnt 2 days and a lot of production
Wow.
money. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool how much people helped out and made it possible.
So it feels like the film had a lot of camaraderie, coming together, and
sure.
working
Amazing.
together.
For sure.
It was awesome.
Were tensions high after those long days? Or is it
Yeah,
okay
but
because
it was
y'all know
more
each other?
so like the tension came from trying to keep us from killing people that were like trying to just destroy our production.
I did see there was maybe a little bit of trouble at least one day. Did you guys have any particular difficulties while filming?
There was one department that was a real problem. We
I
don't-
wasn't referring to department. There was something.
Well, there was a
some,
day-
a
it was
location day.
It was a permit issue.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and we were extorted.
Yeah, that's a different. Yeah. So this is the shadiest. This is the shadiest business any of us have ever been involved
Yes,
in.
and we didn't like that because we had there was no control at that point.
Yeah.
Because once you're going, you have to bite your tongue there, whereas normally someone's hitting the floor.
Yeah.
And start that stuff with us.
Yeah. So we were extorted a few times.
Yeah.
You know, and they know that they could get away with it because we're a small company. But that's just the way everything happens here. You know.
I hope not,
Well,
but
that's-
I know
Well,
it
it's
does.
Like we
but-
start shooting and a guy is just beating a hammer on a steel beam until we pay him to stop.
He was. I forgot about that. He's like, hey,
another person just
$250, they'll stop.
ran a saw until we paid him to stop running
Yep.
the saw,
Yep.
and then
Crazy stuff.
Wow.
Crazy
And
stuff.
were these just regular people
It's
that
everybody.
were causing the nuisance?
Everybody's
like that?
kind of in cahoots.
Oh, okay.
yes,
You know, it's
all-
really shady. It's disgusting. Like I don't know why people shoot here. Honestly,
The sequel won't be here.
you know, it's pretty brutal. I mean,
is-
they're just openly stealing from you.
Yes. And they know they can, and that's what hurts us the most, because
Yeah,
it's like
'cause
we
we
don't
can't-
come from a world like that.
Yeah. Now, you want to talk about any film background any of you have? I know you have a couple things on your list, and you do a lot of YouTube as well.
Yeah, I think everything.
So-
I mean, not to speak for Jared, but I linked up with him when I first started YouTube, and he's been doing production stuff for commercials, skits for a really long time. And then I've been on YouTube for almost 4 years now, and have a pretty successful channel on Facebook as well. So yeah, we all kind of tailored that into meeting up with Nick.
And
from Intro.
I've done a few documentary shorts, but those are more passion projects. They're not there to tell stories about veterans or things in the military community. You know, they're not to make money.
I
Right.
always wanted to make movies. I never thought I would.
Yep. Same here.
But I would go out in the yard and I would do my best to try it on my own. And in 2008, I watched an interview with Quentin Tarantino at a Comic-Con. And a guy asked, "Hey, someone that wants to be in a position like you are, what is your advice to them?" And he says, "Shoot. Go out and shoot every day. If you're that guy that's saying, I'm waiting for a good script, I'm waiting for a good crew, like, you're not getting better. So go shoot every day." And I started doing that after I had watched that.
It is true, though. I would say from like the experience on YouTube and that, and obviously from Nick writings for his company, that it tailored us to be pretty successful in the movie, because we were part of the whole production, the writing process, the editing process, the scoring process. So
And we've all
that-
worked every job too.
Yeah.
We know
Yep.
we've worked lighting, we've worked the camera, we've worked editing. So that made
Yeah.
this process a lot smoother.
And certainly not on the level of Hollywood, but we had an appreciation for it. Like, we thought most of the stuff the crew was doing was just cool. It was like, oh wow, like we never thought of that. Or
seeing our second unit director, Hollywood Herb, he would literally just in his mind tell these guys how to light this scene, and they would do it and it'd be perfect. And it was like, holy cow, you're talented.
It's funny too. Like I learned a lot of stuff in set. I was just, because when we weren't acting in the short breaks that we had, I was just watching the crew set up, because I was like, I want to learn this stuff for the YouTube channel. And we actually upped their production quite a bit, like with some techniques that I learned.
Yeah.
So it's a cool process.
I actually think, personally, like I left Hollywood having a huge appreciation for crew. I mean, the crew is so talented, and like they
don't
have
get
real
enough credit.
skills. And I don't understand. And then, but with there were extremely talented actors, but on the whole, I think we kind of all left going, acting isn't nearly as hard as what these guys do. I mean, it's just really impressive, you know? And I feel like they should probably get paid more than actors, but that's just me.
And then you guys had Ross Patterson as your director. How did
Yeah.
you get him involved with the project?
This gentleman right here.
I emailed him.
So apparently, just email people, send letters.
Well,
it makes
it's-
difference.
We are
Yeah.
very good at writing letters.
Okay.
he
it's-
means him. I can't write letters.
It's how you word it.
That's where you get help.
Yeah.
You get help.
Nick
I
gets
was
the credit of that.
I was a big fan of a lot of his stuff, and I was very interested that he was producing his own stuff, and to me that was a huge level of success, because I'm not really impressed by Transformers and all that stuff, but seeing a guy that went from acting in the early 2000s to now, hey, I'm making my own movies and I have my own production company. Now I'm super impressed and into it, because I want to know, how'd you do it? What'd you learn? Like, teach me. And I just wrote him. I said, hey, we have this project. We're considering doing it. We have a little bit of money to work with. I don't expect to hear from you right away, but if you get a chance, can you take a look and give me your thoughts? And 24 hours later, he got back to me, like, to my surprise.
And that was probably the luckiest thing that came of all of this, because I don't know if another director could have handled this project.
A lot of
I don't
moving
either.
parts, and then giving us the creative side still, and not trying to make it his movie. He's like, I trust you guys. Like, I don't get that
And
joke, but
he
let's
is
do it.
so skilled and knowledgeable about every piece of this, like even down to the finish line. Like, himself is driving hard drives all over LA every day for minor tweaks. Like, I got to get a tweak from the editor, then send it to the color guy, and then I got to take it to effects. And like, I mean, he was running around like a madman for 2 weeks down to the finish line.
Just hugely talented in every area. Incredible writer, incredible actor, but I honestly think that his biggest skill is as a director. He managed to get great performances out of people that are not actors.
Yeah, I think that's the most challenging thing. You're taking 8 or 6 guys that have never been in a major movie, and we're in the whole movie from start to finish. And
you're shooting 6 to 8 people in every scene, which is, if anybody's been in the film business, is insanely challenging. Because
he should have failed. He really should have, and he did. No, he should have. I mean, everything was stacked against him. So
he's like us. He doesn't give up either.
Yeah,
he doesn't throw the hands up.
What do you say? We love Rossi P. Rossi P.
Rossi P.
You've already kind of touched on it, but kind of going towards the end here, what do you feel you wanted to accomplish with making Range 15?
So one of the biggest issues that veterans have when they get out of the military is it's not what people think. It's not that they're like dealing with demons and whatnot. It is that they don't have a mission. They go from being surrounded by people that care about them, that have the same goals, that are all working towards the same objective, and then all of a sudden they're alone. They get out, it sounds like it's going to be great, I'm going to get out, I'm going to be a civilian, and you do have freedom, but with freedom comes a lack of structure, a job that is far less meaningful no matter what you're doing. And that is when people get in trouble. They start feeling bad about their lives. They sometimes start using alcohol, sometimes drugs, and that's where I think personally where veteran suicide comes from. We want to set a different message than the one that you keep kind of hearing, which is that veterans are broken and veterans need our support and veterans need our help. We want to show veterans that you can do anything if you plug away at it. This movie was 2 years in the making. Before that, it was 10 years of me being in business, 3 years of these guys being in business. It's not you don't get where you want to go in a minute, but if you set that goal and you keep systematically working on it, you can literally do anything. So we want veterans to find a new mission, and we feel like this is an example of what the community can do when it works together.
Especially kind of cool, like our company and Nick are technically competitors in the clothing and apparel space. I mean, they kind of dwarf us in business, but we're competitors. And the fact that we came together and through this process have built a community. We still run our clothing companies, but we're all best friends and do collective projects. I think it sends a message to people that the space is big enough, and if you work together and share the same community that you did in active duty, like you'll be crazy successful.
And the values that we learned in the military carry over to business. So even though we are competitors, look what we did when we joined forces, and it didn't hurt anybody's business. And that's why when we see nasty people in business, it offends us and gets us mad and all that. So
real briefly, you want to talk about what those businesses are, and so people can look it up?
Sure. So mine is rangerup.com. It's t-shirts, hoodies, jeans, signs, posters, that kind of stuff. And these guys...
we have a couple companies, but Article 15 Clothing is our apparel. So it's art15clothing.com, and also blackriflecoffee.com, which is premium roast coffee.
It's a coffee company.
It's a coffee company.
it's a coffee.
It's delicious.
And Lead Slinger's whiskey. We have Lead Slinger spirits. So we have 4 different types of alcohol: rum, rye whiskey, bourbon, and cinnamon whiskey.
Nice. Very cool. And then I saw online, too, that as of January, your film is the 4th highest crowdsourced film on Indiegogo.
It is, yeah.
And why do you think that? How did it get to that point?
Our community is awesome.
We have the best community in the world.
Yeah.
Honestly. The average donation was $100 over 11,000 people, and if you think about that, like our community is not nearly as large as some of the other communities for these bigger films that have raised more than us, but the average person gave more because they're dedicated to the cause and because they believe in us.
And to filmmakers out there that are looking to use crowdsourcing in the future, you need to take a lot of pride in that campaign and put a lot of effort into it. I think too many people just assume that the money is going to flow in as soon as you push something out there, but it's not. Like, you have to truly, push quality and really design that campaign to sell your audience and give them essentially like the trust that with their money you're going to do something.
And to Nick's credit from RU, like that's his back end. He ran that whole perk side and making sure that there's quality perks, that they're shipping appropriately. And it is
a good time.
grueling process. I'm happy I
We
wasn't
had
part of it.
11,000 donors, 14,000.
Yeah, it ended up being so far like 22,000 packages.
Oof.
Yeah.
What kind of social media or what way did you get the word out there for your project for the Indiegogo?
So between the two of us, we have like a 250,000 email list. Between the two of us, we have a few million Facebook fans, a few 100,000 Twitter followers, and so we have a really strong community. But then also other military companies
Really
also
stepped up.
helped us out. Some of the people in the community, Marcus Luttrell, Dakota Meyer, they all pushed.
U.S. Army, WTF,
Yep.
awesome shit. My drill sergeant says, Havoc Journal, Funker 530, all these guys. I mean, the whole military community
Essentially,
kind of
like
came
the
in
blog sites
and
of
backed
the
us
community.
on
And
this.
they have no skin in the game,
No.
and they just wanted to
That's awesome.
help. So
So people are going to be able to see it in theaters coming out June 17th,
June
right?
15th.
15.
June 15th.
Even sooner.
And you can
You can get your tickets.
You get tickets at range15.com or tug.com, tugg.com.
And is that a theatrical release in the U.S. or
It's right now.
select theaters?
It's just in the U.S. right now.
Okay.
There's a lot of demand for the UK, Canada, and Australia. They
We're
have
trying.
They have different rules.
Okay.
The movie has to be rated. Our movie is unrated because they didn't want to rate it because there's some offensive material.
Would you feel it's probably in the R rating or?
I would say
More?
I'd say it's an R plus.
R plus.
Okay.
It's an R plus.
And it's not, but it's not like Saw or something disgusting.
Right.
It's just
Because it is a comedy.
it's a
though,
comedy,
too.
yes.
So.
But there are rules. Like
Right.
you
The,
can't murder people without there being some
cause
retribution or
that
cause.
happens 4 times.
And we murder people for humor.
I'm gonna make a meme out of that. Nick Palmisciano, we murder people for humor.
That's
On
beautiful.
comments on Range 15.
And then there's a lot of male nudity.
Fantastic. There's not enough.
I
Seriously,
don't
I'm like,
think we
So
want
actually,
female
that was
nudity.
one of the things that many women, civilian women, have come up to us and said. They said, we expected this to be a really misogynistic kind of film, and in fact, you guys went the other route with
Very.
it. It was a little misandristic.
Because I was gonna say on your channel, Matt, you got
Good word.
you got your bikini snap. So
Yes, ma'am. I early on realized I wasn't that funny, so I would just have beautiful girls in bikinis.
yeah, it's live, no editing.
I was trying.
I was gonna say the better way would be I do it, and then we get speedos or something.
Yeah, I'm down. Let me do some push-ups real quick, though.
There we go.
A couple push-ups.
Push-ups.
So
I'm
you
not
did
doing
you added
push-ups.
that as kind of a comic relief, or to get better, higher views because you got the boobies in the thumbnail.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't clickbait, but yes, it's clickbait. And
Yeah.
also, I mean, it's just a fun way of incorporating it throughout the years in the channel and of doing it. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
What made you want to pick male nudity in your film then? It's kind of
Love dudes.
Because we feel like Hollywood is very misogynistic, and you have gratuitous.
always boobs.
You have
It's
gratuitous
always
boobs
boobs.
in every scene. Doesn't add
No.
anything to it. There's no reason, but you just don't see a lot of
need
penis.
Fully erect dongs.
You know.
well, for all the ladies out there or gentlemen watching, is there a lot of shirtless going on too?
No,
Matt's
it's just
shirtless.
really
Matt's
hard.
Oh, I know, Tim.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Tim
So
is nude.
Tim Kennedy has the last 15 minutes of the movie. Tim Kennedy, UFC fighter and special forces dude, he's naked
Yes.
for the last 15 minutes.
And he's got a great body. Ladies, watch it for that.
The blood is glistening on him.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
delicious.
And then any other final words you have on the project, your experience with it?
It's the coolest project I've ever been a part
It's
of.
really
Me
fun,
too.
and we thank everybody for making it possible.
And thank you for having us on the show.
Oh, of course, thank you. And then actually, I realized another question too. Were there any happy accidents where something went wrong but it turned out for the better?
It's a good
I
question.
punched Matt in the face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That wasn't so. We were supposed to pretend that it happened, and I did a bad job.
It's okay, though. I got to say, he tagged me and I flew off this thing, which was the point because we were just going to
Yeah.
block it. But he
It made it a lot more
and
realistic.
And his eyes were like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I'm on the ground pointing, like, go back, look back to the camera. Like, it was pretty funny.
Like, keep
Most
going.
of the fat jokes weren't scripted, but we just threw them in there.
Yeah.
And they came out beautifully.
Yeah, Mindy. Almost everything Mindy said was improv, and it was all disgusting.
Oh, it was beautiful though.
Yeah.
The-
Beautifully disgusting.
Yeah.
Mindy Robinson.
She'll ruin popcorn for you.
Yeah, you will not ever want to have popcorn.
And this is
again.
popcorn talk. You know? Hey-o.
We came full circle.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Well, great. Well, thank you so much. Why don't we go down the line where people can find you, and any other projects? Do you guys have anything coming up next?
I'm JT, Art15 Clothing on Instagram, and I love Evan.
Nick Palmisciano, rangerup.com, and ranger_up on Twitter. And hopefully we have a sequel.
Absolutely. Matt with 1T Best, and Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can search that and see the shenanigans.
Just see all the fun stuff.
All the fun
it's a
stuff.
good time. It's a good time.
It's a splendid time.
Yay. Well, no, it definitely sounds like an exciting movie. And yeah, you guys can watch the trailer. And then the website for it. Well, you want to let them know where the website is to watch it?
range15.com.
And that's the 1-5.
That is the 1.5, but also we bought the 15 just in case someone screwed up.
That's smart.
Yeah. I don't know which one of us thought of that.
I own Evan and I own meatpony.com.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely go check out range15.com.
It will change your life.
Watch the trailer. It definitely looks like a fun action movie if you want blood, guts, gore, and male nudity.
A lot of male nudity.
Go there for that because everybody loves boobies and all, but still, you got to have that equal opportunity.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Next one we promise.
Oh, okay. Just as long as it's balanced, right? Yeah.
Right.
For every boobs, you got to show a penis.
Okay.
All right,
Perfect.
cool.
Done.
And you guys can check out.
I'm starting to see what you're about. I like it.
You guys can check out the film theatrical release June 15th. So coming up soon, you can get your tickets now. And thank you so much for my awesome guests. And check them out on social
for having
media
us.
and fun stuff on YouTube. And they're all in the YouTube videos too. So I like that as well. So if you want more of this, go to YouTube. So, you can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. And make sure to follow the Popcorn Talk on all the social media platforms. We have lots of fun interviews, also AfterBuzz and all our other networks for all this awesome stuff that we cover. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.